SEGA.
How's it going, guys? This is DizzyPW here. I've got a rare breed of game coming out for you. We're currently in the San Francisco offices for SEGA to check out Total War Arena, which is one of, I believe, the first free-to-play game to come out of the Total War series. Is that right? That is correct. And it's been alpha for quite a while. It's really starting to get into a nice state. They've even got an interesting tournament coming up this Friday you guys are going to want to check out if you're into the esports scene of it. But let's talk to some of the developers and see what they think about the game and how they've come. Can you please introduce yourself?
I am James Given. I am the community coordinator for Total War Arena.
And I'm Life Burrows. I'm the map designer on Total War Arena.
So, say we're talking to a Total War fan. What do you guys bring to the table that's completely out of the blue from where the series has come so far?
So, Total War Arena is a 10v10 free-to-play online multiplayer game. And it's completely different from any of the traditional styles of multiplayer Total War that we've done before. Some of the biggest differences that you'll see is that you're actually controlling 3 units rather than an entire army. And this is a lot more about focusing on the micromanagement of your units as part of the larger army with your team. That combined with your commander and his abilities bring a unique kind of flavor to Total War gameplay that hasn't really been seen before.
So that going from the macro management of typical systems, you feel like this is not dumbing it down. You feel like you have enough individual commands, abilities, almost MOBA style, that the gameplay is just as in-depth, if not more, than a typical Total War game?
Absolutely. Basically, you have all these abilities for the commander and the unit's abilities as well, and nothing is automated. So in traditional Total War, you would attack an enemy, your units would charge into them, your ranged units would fire at anyone that comes within range, and with Arena it's not like that at all. You have to kind of order your units what to do when. You order them to charge and they will charge in the direction they're going, and it's all about thinking about the positioning, flanking maneuvers, working with your teammates, setting up ambushes, using the terrain to your advantage, and it all culminates into a lot to think about, but just enough to make it complex and challenging as well.
Now let's go into the social aspect of this, because most Total War games are typically played by a single guy going up against a computer in campaigns. You as the community representative, you must understand the social side a little bit. What is going on when you have 10 players that are not queued up together? I believe you said 5 was the max you could queue, right?
4 is our maximum party size right now. So
how do you go into this blind with people you've never played against and function as an active army?
Well, I think the way that the game is set up is you have loads of different unit types, like archers, cavalry, and melee. I mean, that's just the basic bit. You got artillery there as well, and then you got the subsections. But when it comes down to it, the first few battles, we want people to at least play a handful of battles before they start like getting into the higher tier, like mid and so forth. And what you start to see is, first of all, yes, okay, there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot on the map, and there's a lot of things to get used to. But you'll be quite surprised how quickly people start working it out themselves. And so I'll move my infantry forward, and this is probably the most pleasant experience you ever get when you're putting a game together which has got a lot of deep mechanics, where you start seeing people moving up and covering your flanks straight off the bat, without actually having to ping here, draw here, come please help. But we do have all those as well. So we have like the drawing tools, we have painting, we have pinging. We also have, you can vote for a commander, and the commander can kind of issue commands, and they'll pop up on the map and through messages. And we are going to expand on that, and we're going to add a lot more onto that. But and this is the best thing about it, is in most cases, people are working out what to do with their roles, with their units, with their commanders, without too much pushing from us. So that's really good to see. But yeah, we do expand that, and we will be adding a lot more in the near future to kind of just make it a little bit more refined and to give those players the extra bit of tools so they can communicate a bit better.
And so it's hard to compare the genre of game you're bringing into anything on the market in terms of online gameplay. What are the visual cues people might learn over time, kind of the learning curve of the game, such as seeing Julius Caesar versus seeing the Spartacus leader going in? Will they be able to see in such a game where you have so many units on your side, just at a glance, oh, that's this guy, he's probably going to do this, I should plan to position myself here in expectation of the typical meta. Is that going to be an existing factor?
I think a lot of players, so especially when you get to like mid and high tier stuff, the units kind of become quite obvious which commander you played based off the units you're bringing to the field. So you'll have certain cavalry players. If you see a Greek cav player, the assumption will be that they are playing Alexander because he is good with cavalry. If you're seeing heavy infantry coming up, which is Roman heavy infantry, there's a good assumption he's probably Germanicus, and therefore he's going to have the subsection of abilities. And that's what you start to see, because the commanders can play every unit within Total Arena, but they excel with a certain small amount. So we start to see, Germanicus using heavy infantry and Caesar using range and so on. So those visual cues alone are enough in most cases to kind of know what the enemy's about to do to you, or what you can do, or how to kite, or how to deal with the opposing force. So those are the most obvious ones, and we do have things that kind of let you know kind of if they're medium, heavy, or light, because those are the really big aspects of the game. Like if I've got light infantry, if I'm barbarians and I've got light infantry, I want to be in the woods over there where it's really difficult terrain, because your heavy infantry, your Roman armor, isn't going to do so well in there. You can't move around as much. But my light barbarians, they can chew you up in that environment. So that's where I'm going to take the fight. But if I move into a road or an open field, then the Romans are going to kick me in. So it's kind of, you start working out where on the map you want to fight, and that really does color everything. It's like you work out where you want to take your fight. You know what kind of units they have based off like the tiers that you see on the units coming against you. So you just quite quickly, by playing a bit, you start to work it out, and you'll react to it without even thinking.
Okay, so in terms of getting a player base and keeping them playing, without the story mode, without the campaign, without building up your bases, what is the factors you have to keep player retention up on this game, to give them that drive to be like, oh, I got to play one more match tonight?
So basically you have the tier progression system. As you play a battle, you gain experience, you earn some silver, and when you come out of the battle, you can spend this and upgrade your units. And you're buying new equipment, which alters how they look and also gives them certain bonuses, improves their ability. And as you buy more, you can continue on progressing up to the next unit in the next tier. And it's just sort of the rush of like unlocking. Oh, I've got to unlock the next thing. I really want that really cool unit, and I want to play with it. And so I need to get to there, and then you start playing with, oh, this is great, I want to get more equipment, and it's the battles are really fun in themselves anyway. So kind of it's not so much of a grind. You're having, no matter what tier you're on, it's still fun to play, and you'll find differences between the lower tiers and the higher tiers, and it's kind of different styles of gameplay based on the units that are there.
How about a faction aspect to that? Say you go into it with a group of friends and you're like, all right, guys, we need the one guy specialized in this. Would there be trade-offs towards the end game where you guys would actually want to plan out to build up a squadron of 4 people that you know could go into the match and take things?
Absolutely. You could kind of plan how you want to form up your party. So you have one of the players is going to focus on being kind of the forward, frontline, punchy, heavy armored guy that's going to really get into the thick of it, and then you have another player focus on being more of a support role with Caesar, for example, and he'll have some range units, and also he can throw out his abilities or often buffs your other teammates. And then you'll have the next player controlling Greeks with the cavalry, and he's coming in and doing all the flanking maneuvers and kind of having the control of the battlefield. And then with the last guy, you can have him potentially artillery, and he's sort of at the back firing artillery into the battles. The cavalry player is out scouting, finding targets for the artillery player. And so as a team, like coordinating all these different tactics together, you can be really powerful, really effective.
So expanding that to the next level, I know this coming Friday you guys are trying to push your first big ESL North American esports event. I'm not sure who would be the better person to talk about this, but what are you expecting to see there given the current meta, what is current available with the different factions? What are these teams going to be bringing into the battle?
Well, so what we're going for with Tour Arena, the ESL event, is so we've done one in Germany not so long ago, and it was more of a kind of a showcase. So if you're sitting there and you're trying to work out how do we bring Tour Arena and how do we showcase it, like what's the best way to do it? And there's lots of things we could do. We could do lots of things streaming, but there's something special about bringing in people to play live and have it broadcasted. There's not many places in the world where you can bring in 20 people and have them all playing together. I'd been to the ESL studios before, and I knew that they could do it, and obviously they got a massive track record in putting these things together. So it'd always been like, yeah, we could do this, we could go here, we could go to ESL, it'd be really awesome. So we approached them with this idea of doing like 10v10, and I want to show you how to play Arena. I'm just going to show you it being played. It's the best way. You can go back and forth and try and explain it, but get it out there and get it played. So we brought in a lot of these guys from the Total War community, a lot of like the classic, some really hardcore players from like clans like Agony and so forth, who are all like hardcore multiplayer Total War guys. And we've had a big community of that for a long time. And then we brought in kind of the YouTubers as well who cover like Total War. And then we brought in a few people who've never played Total War before, played more games like other free-to-plays and other more strategy games. And we brought them in. And we put them in separate teams. We got them to play against each other. Now, it wasn't esports in a conventional sense. It was very much a show match. Mm-hmm. And what we found was players who'd never played before and never played Total War until that day were able to get up to speed, were able to learn from their friends and their teammates, and were able to end up surprising people who'd been playing Total War for almost, 15 years as the series has been going on. That was complete shock. We were expecting it to be like you had to level the team up slightly with all the experienced players on one side, but it was totally new experience because it's totally radically different way to play. Now, so we did this event and it was great. So we're going to do that in America because we're just launching in the US. So, why not? And it's brilliant. It's in Burbank, so it's nice and warm. It's rainy in the UK right now, so anywhere which isn't rainy. So we're going to be doing that. We're bringing in a lot of people to play, and we've got a lot more to showcase now. We've got a lot more maps. We've got a third faction which we didn't have before. So we're going to get them to play out together. We've got ESL have their commentators, which kind of gives it that extra edge, that kind of voice of experience and knows how to put these things together. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because we just don't know how they're going to work together as teams. Like, we have no idea, but all we do know is it's generally good fun to watch. So.
Well, the German one was certainly a lot of fun to watch. That's what really got you guys on the map for me. I had a blast watching that. You guys tune in this Friday night. We'll have the schedule in the description below this video. And if you like what you see, we might have some codes to get you in to actually play it for yourself. So get your guys together, especially if you're strategy buffs and been looking for that free-to-play game to really test your mettle like no other game out there is allowing you to right now. This is a really tactical, really down-to-earth game. And for the state of the game, it's already pretty damn balanced. I'm really impressed with what you guys have done so far. I can't wait to see what this game is going to be like when it's in a launch state. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you.